Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Full Court Talk podcast with myself, Jack Brazil, and my co-host, as always, Josh Mazoke. Say what's up.
Yo, what's up?
And a very special guest making his first appearance on the podcast, our classmate, Matas Branauskas. Say what's up,
boys.
Hello, Matas. Thank you for joining us today.
We're ready to get a third opinion in here.
Yeah,
there's a lot of. I mean, like just a couple episodes ago, we had Zach LaVine as a starting all-star, so we need a bit of balance here. And if it's up to me, I'd have Lou Dort. Yeah, I'd have Lou Dort as an all-star too. So we got to get some. we got to get some balance in.
Well, let's talk about that quickly. Obviously, the All-Star game was last night. What did everyone think about it? Obviously, everything was crammed into one night. The three-point contest, the dunk contest, the skills competition. Matas, you must be over the moon. Your countryman, Domantas Sabonis, winning the skills competition.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I even put 5 pounds on him to win it. So, yeah, I was gassed about it.
Yeah, I thought for him, the threes would be a bit of a, a bit of a stumbling block, but he was swishing them, to be fair to him.
And we had Bam. Yeah. We had Bam winning last year, who wasn't that much of a three-point shooter.
Big men have won 4 of the last 5.
And Bam won against Sabonis last year as well.
A center has won 4 out of the last 5 seasons now.
That's crazy. The big man is evolving.
It's amazing. But yeah, and you're a Celtics fan, aren't you? So Brown and Tatum played pretty well as well, didn't they?
Yeah, I was happy for them.
Yeah. Well, Tatum was actually very good in the three-point contest as well. He the first round he lit it up. I didn't expect 25 points from him, but he was very good in the first round. Not quite as good in the final, but when you're going up against Stephen Curry, you're always going to be second best, aren't you?
Yeah, I'd say Steph deserves MVP just because obviously Giannis had a tremendous, literally a perfect performance. But Steph saved the night though. But Steph just saved the night. Like, he was a whole event. So I just feel like just for making it watchable, just for making me not completely regret staying up for that.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, agreed. Curry deserves MVP 100%.
Yeah.
He saved the whole night. He saved the NBA.
Yeah, because last night on our Twitter account, we were posting a few highlights, and it felt like, all of them were Curry highlights. Literally, it was either him with his trophy, or him.
It was a cheat code. He got us a quick 100 likes.
Yeah.
Cheat code.
If you post LeBron or Steph, it's a little bit of a cheat code.
I mean, LeBron took the night off. I didn't see him in the second half.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, he didn't play.
When he said he would be there physically, but not mentally, he meant it.
He meant it.
Let's talk about the dunk contest quickly. What was everyone?
Let's not.
Crickets.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is, right, it got off to a really promising start. Like, Cassius Stanley, that first dunk was incredible.
The best dunk of the night got the lowest score.
Yeah. Would you say, Matt?
That kind of set the tone.
44 points for that dunk.
I know. And then Anthony Simons, it was a good dunk, but both his dunks were just like.
And the commentary, oh my goodness, like they're asking him to kiss the rim, like that would have taken all his teeth out, and then
are they going to pay for his dental work, like?
And then you got Simons like 2 feet above the rim, and Shaq saying he should have windmilled it. Like, what is he talking about? And
then OP's top in was copying his idol Zach LaVine with his first dunk as well. Obviously been watching Zach LaVine film, but overall that was a very forgettable dunk contest. I thought.
Very forgettable.
Yeah.
I think even the skills competition was better than the dunk contest, which is saying a lot.
Yeah.
But let's get into the main topic of today's episode. Obviously, the All-Star break gives NBA fans a chance to reflect on the season gone by so far. This is kind of officially the halfway point of the season. And as such, we are going to give our award ballots, our halfway award ballots for the NBA season. We're going to do all the major awards: Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, MVP, you name it, we're going to do it. So let's get straight into it.
Just to emphasize, this is not predictions. This is not projections.
No.
This is everything that's happened in the first half of the season, acting like this is the end of the season and just saying who deserves it at this point.
Yeah, like Zach LaVine is my MVP, obviously. So he clearly is. No, I'm joking.
We're not including the preseason. Sorry.
Let's get straight into it with our Rookie of the Year. We're going to give our first and second place for each award. Josh, if you could give me your second place for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, my second place would be Tyrese Halliburton. His stats don't jump off, but most rookies don't this season because strangely, a lot of the rookies, even the higher drafted rookies, none of them seem to have started. So they've all been kind of brought along with smaller roles, and they've kind of expanded towards now. And you can look to the rest of the season for players like Tyrese and LaMelo and across the board to start getting bigger roles. But in the time he's had, one thing that stands out to me is just how beyond his years that he looks.
Yeah.
He always seems he's one of those players like Luka that you just can't rush and that has his flow to the game. He looks like a vet out there. He's averaging 13, 4 and 5 on 50, 40, 80 splits. But another thing is he's calm and collected. Like he's had a lot of clutch moments throughout the season as well. Throughout the first 20 games, he'd recorded 101 fourth quarter points.
Yeah.
Which was second among rookies, and he'd hit tremendous shots. So it's not just about the shooting or the scoring. There's not too much flashy about his game, but he's just, for a rookie guard where they normally take a while to get into it, he just seems like he's ahead of his years and he's ready.
Yeah, for sure. He's formed a really good partnership with De'Aaron Fox in that Kings backcourt, and in a season that's been very up and down for the Kings, at least there's something they can look forward to having those two in the franchise for a long time. Matas, who did you have in second place?
Well, I was thinking to put Peyton Pritchard as the second place because he has been playing well for Celtics. But yeah, I went with Tyrese Halliburton as well.
Yeah, I'm guessing for similar reasons, right?
Yeah, like he started slowly, but yeah, as Josh said, like you need to bring the rookies slowly. So, but Tyrese, I don't know how he fell to 12th place in the 12th pick.
And
I don't know how.
The Knicks took a 23-year-old rookie in Obi Toppin from last night.
All we can do is jump high, pretty much.
Can't even win a dunk contest. So what are you drafting him for?
Yeah.
Like Tyrese.
Yeah, Tyrese definitely looks like a rookie who, he looks beyond his years almost. But I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit and go with... I'm just looking at his efficiency, and I almost want to change my answer, but I'm going to go with Anthony Edwards in second place. Look, it would be boring if we just agree on everything, right?
Man, I wish you could see my face right now.
Obviously,
Tyrese... Is it because of the dunk? Is it because of that dunk? Yeah.
Hey, no other rookies doing that. That's what I'm going to say. Anthony Edwards is averaging 15 points per game. Don't look at the shooting splits. Please don't, because it'll make it really bad. But he's been forced kind of into a situation, as a lot of rookies are, which is diabolical, especially with the Timberwolves. Cat has been out for a vast majority of the season with COVID protocols, and then D'Angelo Russell has gone down now for I think he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. So there's been a lot of uncertainty surrounding Anthony Edwards in his rookie season, and I think he's navigated it quite well. He's shown. I'm about to talk about his media influence in his media.
Oh my God! I just saw it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Look. The second best rookie is Tyrese Halliburton, but Anthony Edwards, I'm going to give him a little bit.
37%. Oh, yeah. Man.
Hey, who else is dunking on Yuta Watanabe like that? No one. That's my case. Mic drop. All right. Let's get into our rookie of the year. And I think we're all pretty much going to have the exact same answer. Josh, do you want to say it?
Yeah, man. It's got to be that ball boy. As the verse says, LaMelo Ball. Destined to be the best ball brother.
Yep.
I mean, what can we say? Like he's taken the league by storm, and he surprised a lot of people. He was looked at as the most talented prospect and the prospect with the most potential, but he's already playing at a high level for a player that didn't have the normal route, didn't have the normal route. He kind of skipped high school for a bit, went overseas in a lot of strange situations, played in his dad's own league. And then, over the last couple of years, it was a bit more structured, but his stats just stand out so far. Just with the limited play that he was getting, he's put in an almost impossible situation behind Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier.
Yeah.
And to average, 16, 6 and 6, and in his last few games as a starter now, he is getting a bit closer to 26 and 6 and 2 steals as well. So the thing that surprised me the most is how his 3-point shooting has been much better than anticipated as well. Because when he was over in the NBL, he was not a great shooter at all. I think he was almost at like 20% from 3, but now he's shooting 38, almost close to 40%. So it has to be him.
Yeah, it definitely does have to be LaMelo Ball. I think he'll end up winning this award probably unanimously. His stats since he came into the starting lineup for Charlotte, as you said, 20.7 points, 6.7 assists, 6.2 rebounds with 2 steals a game. Those stats are eerily similar to rookie Luka Doncic when he came to the league and took it by storm. And we all know what happened next with Luka. So, LaMelo Ball had a lot of spotlight coming into him this year, obviously being a Ball brother and, the pressure that LeVar has put on all those boys. But I feel like LaMelo he's the type of guy who kind of thrives in that spotlight, thrives in that pressure. And you can see that when he's moved into the starting lineup.
He's been in since he was 15 now.
Yeah, he's got like 6 million followers on Instagram as a rookie. So he's already a big celebrity. He's already used to the headlines. And he's thriving with the spotlight directly on him. Matas, do you have LaMelo as well? Are you going to shock us like I did with Anthony Edwards?
Nah, I have LaMelo as well. Yeah, fake Melo. Yeah. And he played in Lithuania when he started.
Oh yeah.
So over there, He tried.
I was watching Ball in the Family. Yeah.
He tried to be like something else, or like he didn't understand at the start. Like he's playing against grown men.
Yeah.
But he like matured enough, so he went to Australia. He performed there as well, and this year, he's doing madness for Charlotte.
Yeah, he got like a second team Lithuanian squad, a team in like the second Lithuanian league, like 20K.
No, it was first league.
His first league. Oh, fair enough. Yeah. And then he was playing for the JBA tour, like the big baller league, And
he's actually
he matured a lot.
Yeah, he's actually making Michael Jordan look like a good GM as well. So that's an accomplishment all by itself.
But when he played in Australia, until his few games when he got triple-double, he had no interest from scouts, but one good game, and then everyone flew in to watch him.
Yeah, he's really a big name, like a big star at such a young age. And
he might be a pioneer for a lot of athletes coming up, because you're seeing now with the G League, a lot of players that are finding success, like Jalen Green, surpassing, going past the college route. So, you can look ahead and see maybe LeVar was onto something there, and it might be the end of the premium prospects being in college basketball.
Yeah, for sure. I think it is. The end is near for the NCAA, especially if they don't start paying their athletes. Why would you not go to the G League, get paid, get the best sports like basketball coaching in the world as well, and then have a direct route into the NBA? Why would you not do that? So unless the NCAA modernizes quickly, I think it is the end for that. Can I just ask you boys, when LaMelo was coming into the draft, what were your expectations? What did you think he was kind of going to be in his rookie season? Because surely it wasn't this.
Yeah, for me, coming into the draft, it was kind of based on where he went. Mm-hmm. I thought he'd have this type of season if he got drafted to the Knicks. When he went to the Hornets, though, I was thinking, or if he got drafted to the Warriors, I thought it'd be a bit of a culture shock for him, because he's not played much, he's played organized ball, but in terms of everywhere he's been, he's just been the system. He played where his dad controls, playing time and things like that, and he was just out there playing. So I thought, coming into a place where he'd have to play a role, be a bit more organized. I thought, it'd take a while, but I thought he'd get to this point eventually, but maybe like second season. But he's a seamlessly fit, which I did not expect at all.
Matas,
I didn't expect him to be this good, because and he's like long as a point guard and everything, but like his skills, his passing and everything, like he's made for this league 100%.
Sure. He's the archetypical like modern point guard, I think. 6'7", can shoot from anywhere. He's a great passer. He's not very athletic, but his size kind of makes up for that. The thing that surprised me most about LaMelo is his efficiency. I think a lot of highly touted rookies, they put up decent numbers, but the efficiency isn't there, and that's something they grow into. But he's actually been like really efficient. 38% from three and 45% from the field.
Especially after his season in Australia, he wasn't very efficient. And also, the thing that impresses me about him, and I think that what carries him, is his charisma and his confidence.
Yep.
Because he has a lot of the same skills as Lonzo, but he's a lot more, he uses it a lot more. He's got that passing gift like them, that they got from playing at Chino Hills and running full court offenses and things like that. But yeah, and then he's just a natural scorer as well. So I think as he continues to mature into his body, sky's the limit for him.
Do you think Lonzo Ball being in the NBA before LaMelo has helped him adapt so quickly? Because when Lonzo came in, obviously he's the oldest Ball brother, first one in the NBA. He didn't really have that figure, that role model to base his game after. But LaMelo has that in Lonzo. He's got a few years in the NBA under his belt. Do you think that maybe played a role in how quick he's adapted?
Yeah, I was following I've followed like the story with the Ball brothers has been very interesting, and just seeing the behind the scenes of how LeVar, the mindset that they have towards basketball, they just purely see it as a business. And even you'll hear LaMelo interviews where he says that he didn't watch that much NBA. He was just playing basketball, and he doesn't none of them get too high or too low. You see Lonzo, he has the same face regardless of what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think that has to help, because in these big moments, LaMelo does not seem too flustered, like, meeting LeBron or whatever. He seems, cool in every situation. So, and then, obviously being around the NBA for, a couple of years before you're even drafted definitely has to help.
Yeah. All right, let's move away from the Rookie of the Year conversation, and let's move on to the Coach of the Year. So Josh, who's your second favorite for this award?
Gotta show love to Tom Thibodeau of the New York Knicks.
Gotta show love to him, man.
Now, this is in the same vein as, how highly Coach Billy Donovan finished last year. Just having a team that is not expected, but then even more so with him, because I guess in Billy's case, they lost a couple stars, but they were still able to get, Chris Paul back. But with the Knicks, it's almost the same roster, but, he's just come and turned things around completely to the point where the squad are now they're currently sitting at 5th seed. We talked about them, I think, last episode. And then, it's all behind their defensive schemes, which he's been known for his whole career. Yeah. As a coach, he's brought a different type of culture to them. They're second in the NBA in defensive efficiency. And he's just got these players stepping up and playing for him, and that's put, Julius Randle in the All-Star game.
Yeah, I personally had Tom Thibodeau as my Coach of the Year. Because I just think, what he's doing with a Knicks team, which is, as you said, pretty much the exact same roster as last year. Obviously, you've got the rookie Emmanuel Quickly, and he's got two of his guys in Derrick Rose and Taj Gibson on the roster now. But what he's done with a eerily similar roster is frightening. Like, it shows what he's all about as a coach. Obviously, you said he's defensive minded. Last season, the Knicks had the 18th best defense, and this year they have the best defense in terms of points allowed per game. Which is a crazy turnaround with pretty much the same personnel. He has the Knicks over 500 going into the All-Star break. When was the last time we could say that? I can't remember a time in.
I might have to reconsider putting him first. He might be coach of the decade for this.
Yeah,
for making the Knicks respectable.
Making the Knicks respectable. And the thing is, like after that Timberwolves job, his reputation had taken a big hit because there was a lot of players who didn't respond well to his coaching and were saying they were playing him too much and playing him too hard. But in New York, it looks like it's the opposite of that, and the players are responding really well. I've got a quote here from Derrick Rose, who obviously knows Tom Thibodeau very well from his time in Chicago and in Minnesota. He said he was looking for a coach who, when you're in the huddle and you're looking in the coach's eyes, every player that's looking at him knows that that person is driving the ship and going to get the job done. And that's Tom Thibodeau for Derrick Rose. And if you have a man you can unite behind and you share the same ethos as him, then I think the sky's the limit. This isn't the most talented roster, as we said. Last season, they finished 12th in the Eastern Conference. But we speak a lot, Josh, about a culture and a winning culture. It just shows you how far it can take you. Matas, who did you have for second in Coach of the Year?
Yeah, I was thinking about putting Tibbs in second place, but I went with Nate Bjorken from Indiana Pacers.
Okay.
He is first year coach, first job, and Indiana started the season well. They were in top 4 for quite a while, but in the recent weeks they fell off. But still, I think he's done a great job, with Indiana, especially with all the injuries, playing without Oladipo, TJ Warren, now without Caris LeVert as well, and Sabonis and Miles Turner are playing both very well together.
Yeah.
So I think
that was an issue the last couple of years for sure. They finally found their fit together.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he's done a great job. And I think Indiana will get back to at least playoff spot, but because they are better than that. They need just to get Caris and TJ Warren back.
Yeah, it's day to day in the East. To be fair, you never know who's gonna be in that from those 3 to 8 spot, really. So
yeah. And did you say he's a first year coach, Nate Bjorken? Yeah, and he's obviously
he was assistant coach for
at the Spurs, right?
Nick Nurse last.
Nick Nurse. Sorry, it wasn't.
Yeah.
So if you got education under Nick Nurse,
Yeah, that whole coaching stuff, that's a pipeline. It's turning into a Greg Popovich style pipeline.
Yeah, for sure. Nate Bjorken is a great choice, but who do you have for your coach here then, Josh? If it's not Tom Thibodeau,
gotta give love to Coach Snyder. I think we're turning into the Jazz Slander podcast, but which
I think the whole world is turning into the Jazz Slander podcast.
I mean, we didn't have an episode reacting to the to Mike Conley being inserted in, which I was hot about.
That was definitely a legacy vote.
Them going straight past Shea and DeRozan. That definitely annoyed me. But anyway, he helped. He made the night better. With his
he went off in the 3-point contest. I didn't even think
but I can't get over Gobert doing layups in the. Come on, man.
But anyway, Josh, remember I was telling you. You said he was good in the game last year.
Last year he was actually doing.
No one wants to watch Rudy Gobert in the All-Star game.
At least dunk it, my guy.
They should
doing layup.
They should name him an All-Star, but then just not take him to the game. Take someone else.
Yes, they should have just named all the All-Stars this year and been done with it. But anyway, Coach Snyder, he's done the rare. I've got to insert the Budenholzer slander here. But yeah, Snyder's actually adapted to his personnel. So someone should hit up Budenholzer and let him know how that's done. But they've gone on a storm. There's no secret the Jazz have been the hottest team in the league this year, and that's no accident. They've changed their philosophy towards their 3-point shooting. Obviously, the percentages have been unprecedented league-wide, but they definitely have the pieces there that it makes sense to move to that philosophy. And then they're also benefiting from having players like Bogdanovic and Conley start to actually play to the level that they were expected to when they were signed there. And yeah, he's turned his team around to, you know, they've kind of taken that next step. Obviously they got outplayed, you know, in the bubble with Denver walking them down after that 3-1 lead, and they've clearly made the adjustments. So yeah, Snyder's been on a roll, and obviously he got rewarded by coaching the All-Star team yesterday.
Matas, do you agree, or do you have someone else in mind for the?
Yeah, I have Quinn Snyder as well, because like Jazz are number one. Usually it's the team with the best record is like coach of the year, but like they're shooting loads of threes right this season as well compared to last season.
Yeah, big time.
So yeah, Quinn Snyder 100%.
Yeah, he's really kind of modernized the Jazz in a way, as they are the team that kind of sum up the modern NBA best, I think. It's live by the free, die by the free kind of thing for them almost. And Quinn Snyder's a big part of that, and he's built a roster for it as well, with players like Bogdanovic and Mike Conley and things like that. And then he's got that defensive anchor in Rudy Gobert, who I'm still convinced you put him in any team and it will transform that defense. That's how good he is. But I had Quinn Snyder in second personally. Obviously, what he's doing with the Jazz is very impressive, and number one record in the NBA can't be sniffed at. But I just think making the Knicks a playoff team, is like almost as big as winning the championship. Like almost as impressive as winning the championship.
No, honestly though, that's a sound argument, and then also because that's kind of how I saw last year with Budenholzer winning over Billy Donovan. But to be fair, they were on an unprecedented run. Like, what were they on pace for? Like 70 wins last year, something like that. But that was good. Okay,
let's move right along into our most improved player picks. I'll start with you now, Matas. Who do you have for your second most improved player in the NBA this season?
I was thinking about Christian Wood, but he got injured, and that's why I pulled him out, and I put my boy Jaylen Brown as a second, as a runner-up for most improved. Yeah, because he is having a great season. Of course, he's been All-Star last night, and his numbers went up. His pass, he's just playing more aggressive. He's shooting more threes right now. And when Tatum went out with COVID, he stepped up. And then when Kemba, of course, wasn't starting at the start of the season, he was shooting 60% from three, for 10 games straight. I think Jaylen Brown maybe could be first. He could be most improved, but not enough in my case.
Yeah, he might have been the best player for the Celtics this season, probably.
Oh yeah,
I think he. So. A lot of the years, I don't like how the MVP, the most improved players voted for, because a lot of the time it just ends up going to a player that gets more minutes than they did before, or a better role. And, that doesn't actually hit the essence of what it means to improve. And Jaylen Brown is definitely a player that you can visibly see improve. You can just see his aggression. You can see just the string of moves that he puts together. He plays almost identically to Tatum now, with, adding side steps and step backs to his arsenal. So, yeah, he's definitely a player that's improved. But for my runner-up, I've got Jeremy Grant, who...
your runner-up, did you say, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's obviously in his newly expanded role. He bet on himself by signing with the Pistons rather than re-signing with the Nuggets. And, he's averaging 23, 5, and 3. Mm-hmm. He's playing at a high level. His shooting is dipped off a little bit, but for a while his shooting, he was maintaining almost the same efficiency whilst having a much expanded scoring role. So that he's left a lot there. And there's rumors, which we'll probably go into in the next episode or so, about him being traded to a contender. He's clearly, and he's even more appreciated now by the Nuggets, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
After how they've slipped. I've got him as my runner-up.
It will be interesting to see what role he would take on a contender now that he's had this breakout season. Would he kind of revert back into what he was for the Nuggets, or would he kind of be one of the primary ball handlers. It'll be
Well,
that'd
for the
be
sake of
interesting to see.
Manus's fantasy team, I hope he goes back to his old role.
Well, he actually offered me Jeremy Grant for Jared Allen the other day, but
Don't take that, bro.
I'm not taking it. Jared
take
Allen's a
that.
different monster. But I had for my second place, I had Christian Wood. He probably would have been my number one if it wasn't for that ankle injury.
For me, it was literally just an injury.
Yeah. Christian Wood last season was averaging 13 and 6, and this season that is up to 22 and 10.
I mean, he might be an MVP candidate for how much the Rockets have slipped in his absence.
For sure. I was just going to get into that. On a 12-game losing streak since he went down. And here's an interesting stat about Christian Wood. He's one of 5 players averaging 20, 10, and 55% field goal percentage this season. The other players, Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, and Domantas Sabonis. So it begs the question, Christian Wood probably would have been an all-star if he didn't get hurt. I definitely think he would be. And he, something that's impressed me majorly about Christian Wood is the leap he's taken in his three-point percentage, shooting 42% from 3, a career high. And he's another player that bet on himself, went to a different team. Detroit looked like they didn't want him for whatever reason. I guess Mason Plumlee is a better player according to Detroit.
To be fair, I have seen a lot of Detroit fans get mad when that's brought up because they say that he made it like very, very clear that he didn't want to sign back there anyway, regardless of how much they'd offer him. So that's fair.
Okay,
but with Wood though, he's boiling at a crazy level. And when they signed him, I thought that would be a decent move just to make to show Harden and Westbrook that we're still making moves, and he'd be a good piece next to them. So it was strange, but
I thought that
a new opportunity opened up for him. Yeah,
I thought that move was actually going to keep both those players there, and they were going to run it
I
back.
thought they definitely should have considered it.
Yeah, I think they would have been really competitive in the West.
That was a great move.
Yeah, because you got a big man who can shoot the three, he can score inside, he can do a bit of everything. Yeah. So he'd fit perfectly with both their games.
And he's not ball dominant either. He has the skills, but he would still fit next to them for sure.
Yeah, and that's since Clint Capella moved on. That's something the Rockets have, and James Harden and Russell Westbrook have missed, is that big man that complements their games well. I think they had that in Christian Wood, but they obviously didn't.
They would have had small ball without having to go small.
Yeah, for sure. Let's move into our front runners though. Matas, who do you have winning this award, most improved player?
Jeremy Grant.
Yeah.
One and only, because he done a huge leap from Denver coming off the bench, being the sixth man when I was starting, main guy for the Pistons. So and he's averaging 20 plus points.
23.
Yeah.
And it's not just the fact that he's playing more minutes. I think it's his game has really evolved as well. If you look just at the things he's added to his game, the fact that he can create his own shot now is a massive improvement to Jeremy Grant's game. I've also got him as my most improved player. But he's been amazing for the Detroit Pistons, and you always love to see a player take that leap. And I don't think any player has taken as large a leap as Jeremy Grant has in terms of the skill set, the stats, all of that together. I think for me, Jeremy Grant is the most improved player. What about you?
I'd like to challenge that because I think there is a player that has taken a big of a leap, and that would be Julius Randle, who, as I mentioned before, when I was talking about Tom Thibodeau, their squad, there's not been much turnover. It's almost identical squad, and yet Randle has upped his averages to, probably, in fact, better than Grant at every stage, but he's contributing to winning. He's averaging 23, 11, and 6. He's averaging 23, 11, and 6. And his 3-point percent, he's shooting 40% from 3.
Yeah.
Almost, he's almost at 50, 40, 80 splits there as a big man. The Knicks were getting clowned when they signed him. They were like, oh, you thought you were getting KD, now you're getting him. But more so as well is that, it was kind of horrific to watch him and Marcus Morris play point guard for them at times last year, but it seems he seemed to have reflected on that and worked on it over the summer, because now, you know, he just looks incredibly versatile. And yeah, as I said, he's contributing to winning. So he's putting up these numbers with almost the same minutes per game. Well, probably a lot more with Coach Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah,
maybe it's more, but
he's
still.
up to 36.7 minutes per game as opposed to 32.5 last year. So he's up,
but that's marginal. So it's the same role. Still, it's the same role, and that just shows, you know, he's winning. So because arguments can be made for Jeremy Grant that he's doing it on a bad team, putting up empty stats, and if he does get traded, and isn't able to have that same type of production. But anyway, that doesn't matter. That's hypothetical.
Yeah.
But yeah, the point remains is that Randall is putting up even better stats in the same situation, but just showing that he's elevated his game, especially with 3-point shooting and playmaking at 6 assists.
Do you think Coach Tom Thibodeau almost went in there and kind of pointed the finger at Julius Randle and said, "Okay, you're gonna be the go-to guy on this team"?
Yeah, that you know, a lot of people looked at RJ Barrett to be that guy that would make the leap, and I still think that just because of how young Barrett is, that he is their future, you know, that they'll look to eventually. But for now, you know, Randall has put the city of New York on his back, which is that's a big hole to fill, you know, for a city that's been suffering for decades. And you know, he's really stepped into it, you know, in his second year now. And he's taken advantage of, you know, I guess that absence there from, you know, them not having that superstar. But, you know, it's hardly the best fit either, you know, in terms of they've still got quite a few bigs. And, you know, now they've signed Derrick Rose, but it's not like they have the best point guards there to really facilitate him. But he's taken that upon himself, you know, now averaging 6 assists. His playmaking has gone up as well. So just as an all-round player, because I might send it to you and try to get you to put it up, but there was a graphic of the evolution of Julius Randle's shot chart, and it's crazy. You know, a lot of it was inside, and now, you know, there's a lot of balance to it.
Julius Randle was definitely a great pick for this award, but I just think when it comes down to voting time, the number increase doesn't really jump off the page at you like it would a Jeremy Grant, like it would a Christian Wood, because, you know, the points are up 4, which is great, but the rebounds are up 1 or 2. So the just from a box score statistical standpoint, he's probably not the most improved player on paper, but I do definitely agree with what you're saying and how he's evolved into a real all-star and a real star in this league. And, you know, the Knicks being in the playoffs will certainly help his case for sure. Matas, do you have any thoughts on Julius Randle?
Yeah, he definitely is better than he was last year, but yeah, as you said, just not enough improvement in the box score as Jeremy Grant or Christian Wood. But
but a big thing that's expanded his game and taken him to all-star level is that 3-point percentage is glaring to me.
Yeah.
You know,
But can he win it just off that? I'm not sure he can. I know
not just off that, but the fact that he's elevated to an all-star has to be big. Just being able to capture an all-star nod will definitely go into it. That would definitely go into it.
And it was kind of a all-star berth it wasn't really debated. Everyone knew Julius Randle should have been an all-star. Yeah. So he's kind of a consensus pick for that as well.
And at least at this point right now, acting like this is the end of the season, just the amount of games more that he's played more than Christian Wood definitely has put him over him as well.
Yeah. Okay. So that's everyone's. We got to everyone's picks for most improved player. Let's move swiftly on to sixth man of the year. I guess I'll start with this one. And number 2, this might shock a lot of people, but I've got Jordan Clarkson. You know, Jordan Clarkson is a lot of people's consent. Matters. Why are you saying?
This is a one-man race, but we'll let the designated Bulls fan Bulls fan explain. Why don't you start with your number 1? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? And then me and Matas will have the actual conversation about this award.
Okay. Well, if we're gonna play like that, we're gonna play like that.
I'm gonna mute myself, and you just
okay.
Just preach the gospel to us real quick.
So my number 1 as Josh has kind of alluded to, is a Chicago Bull, and it's Thaddeus Young. I just think, right, when Thaddeus Young comes into the Bulls lineup, so obviously we start Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams has been starting at the 4 since Laurie Markkinen has gone down. And obviously Pat Williams is only 19 years of age. I don't like Josh's face right now. It's putting me off a little bit. Obviously he's only 19 years of age.
Hey man, I've muted myself, man. I'm giving you the floor here.
Yeah, but obviously he's 19 years of age, so he's very inexperienced. And it's vital to give Patrick Williams these opportunities and the minutes to get better. For sure it is. But the Bulls' strongest lineup is for sure when Thaddeus Young is on the court. You saw that graph a few years ago when he was on the Pacers, where he was in company like LeBron James, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. He's kind of he's one of those big men that can be a primary playmaker on the team. He's got that skill set and he does that for the Bulls. He feels like someone that always makes the right play. The stats maybe don't jump out at you as much as Jordan Clarkson, but he's definitely making the Bulls contend for the playoffs in years previous where they missed Thaddeus Young. Last year he was out a lot with injury and they weren't really anywhere near it. So I think his importance to the team is very significant. Almost I'd like to argue more than Jordan Clarkson's is to the Jazz. And that's why I've got him. I think he's just a great, he's an archetypical veteran that will come in, help you get wins, give the young guys experience, be a great vet. Yeah, that's why I've got Thaddeus Young.
So just to recap,
12 and 6.
12 and 6 of the year.
12 and 6.
Because the below 500 team's best lineup involves him. He's 6th man of the year.
That's all we have time for today. Thank you.
You know what? I hate I have to do this.
No, but it's just a night and day difference. It's the night and day difference. I have him at
second.
When Thaddeus Young is on, he's so important to the Bulls, Josh. You don't understand.
He stepped up big for them, especially with their two bigs out of the lineup for a lot of the season with Laurie Markkinen and Wendell Carter out for a significant amount of time. And I have him at second.
Cristiano Felicio play for the Bulls.
Look, I have him at second. So
Luke Cornett.
I don't
Luke
want
Cornett. Don't understand that pain.
Bro, argue guard packs, man. That's not on me, man. That's not on me. This isn't a therapy session, okay? You keep turning every episode into a Bulls therapy session. All right. Let's
I got it off my chest, man.
Let's cut it out. Nah, I have him at second. So I don't want to trash him. But listen, this is a one-man race. This is a one-man race.
But if we all
Jordan
agree,
Clarkson,
this would be very boring. That's what I'm saying.
Has been the third best player. In fact, I think you could argue that he
hasn't been the third best player on the Jazz. No, he hasn't.
Nah,
Mike Conley's been better than him.
At sports, maybe throughout in terms of consistency, but in terms of there was a stretch there where they really needed his production, where Donovan Mitchell wasn't playing as well as he should have been, and Clarkson was balling out for a good 2-week stretch.
Yeah,
his peak this season has been top 3. In fact, there was a good stretch of maybe 1 to 2 weeks where you could look at a game. If you get a new fan to look at the game, they'd say he was the best player on the court, or maybe the second, because obviously Gobert's impact defensively has been there throughout. But Clarkson has just been that player, and he'll be the player that likely wins it, because even though Thaddeus Young,
I unfortunately don't get a vote in this. So.
Yeah, his value is great, but obviously they like to give. Anyway, who knows with the NBA? They gave him Montrezl Harrell last year over Dennis Schroeder, who everyone knew was a clear choice. But How do you have? Let me not turn this into a thunder therapy session.
Yeah,
but how do you have 2 6th man of the year candidates from the same team, 7th man of the year out here. But anyway, mine is Clarkson. I'm sure Matas is Clarkson. I'm sure everyone listening is Clarkson. But go on, Matas.
Yeah, Clarkson for sure as a number 1 pick. Like, it's no brainer. And I put for my second place, I went with Chris Boucher from Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, that's definitely a
good pick.
Yeah,
that's a solid pick.
Everyone thought that he will go into starting lineup because Aaron Bay has been terrible for the Raptors.
Yeah.
And like you can see the Raptor fans on Twitter just going.
Yeah, Masai
mental.
Ujiri must have like a undercover like deal with the Aaron Baines fan club Twitter account or something, because I don't know why he's starting, but
Baines has been terrible for them, and like Chris Boucher, he's shooting 3 well, he's blocking shots, like he's been very well for them. So, and like he's averaging 13 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 assist with 2 blocks. But he's playing right now 23 minutes per game. So Chris Boucher, he's definitely probably 3rd best Raptors player this year.
Yeah.
So he's the 6th man, and Clarkson is number 1, as I said. Like,
Not much needs to be said about Clarkson. I think with Chris Boucher, he's kind of an energy guy for the Raptors. Like when the starting lineup looks a bit flat and a bit defeated, you plug Chris Boucher in, and he's gonna run both ends of the floor. He's gonna block shots. He's gonna take threes. You know, he's that energy guy.
As that jump shot is, it goes in. So
somehow it goes in.
It'd be hitting the back of his head, but it'd be finding the bottom of the net. Though. It'd be finding the bottom of the net.
Somehow, some way. And I think in the early season he was even in the running for most improved player. Chris Boucher. He's kind of fallen off now, of course, but Chris Boucher is a very solid pick, and maybe if I didn't support the Bulls, I might agree with you, but Jordan Clarkson, I think definitely will win this award. Although I didn't have him there, but Jordan Clarkson, he's when the Jazz have needed offense, a lot of times they look to Jordan Clarkson because he's someone that Coach Snyder must say to him, like, if you're touching the ball and not shooting, you're doing something wrong, because it seems like every time he gets.
I saw him trending that way during their run in the bubble.
Yeah,
I would just look and just see he's kind of carved himself out, and he's he started his career with Lou Will as a teammate and Kobe, so he was destined for this.
He was always going to turn into this. But Jordan Clarkson probably will win this award. But give me Thaddeus Young, man. I might put some money down there. Why not? Can't. Not much money because I don't want to lose a lot. But if it returns, I'm gonna be in the big bucks. Okay, let's move swiftly into our defensive player of the year. Matas, who have you got number 2 in this race?
Yeah, it was interesting one to pick because like Rudy Gobert is playing amazing, but my second place player is Ben Simmons from 76ers. Yeah, like with defensive player of the year, like recently it's been all the big guys. Like no perimeter player has won, like, I don't know, can't remember how long. But Ben Simmons has been but Ben Simmons has been amazing. Like he's locking down all the opponents' best players all the time. So Ben Simmons. But as a Celtics fan, like I don't like to say this, but Ben is defensively, he's just one of the best in the league.
It's okay, don't worry, man. You can have all the playoff wins. Don't worry about let the Sixers have that.
Hey, it might change. It looks like it's going to change this year, though. If you two get matched up, I'm not sure if it'll continue.
Nah, just wait. we haven't played one game with full healthy lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. Are you getting cardiac Kemba or are you getting cardio Kemba? That's the thing.
Yeah.
and you better hope Jeff Teague is not in the rotation when it comes to playoff time as well.
Right, Jeff Teague recently has been playing well.
Okay.
Recently, he's been playing well, but yeah.
Oh, has he? All I've seen is Celtics fans calling for them to bring back Isaiah Thomas. I was like, whoa.
He's
down bad.
Teague played first game, scored 18 points, and then that's it, and just went silent. Peyton Pritchard has been much better player than
I was going to say, why
recently,
are those minutes not going to Peyton Pritchard?
Yeah, Teague had 5 DNPs. So then he stepped up, he decided, maybe I need to get better. So he's been playing well recently.
Josh, who did you have in second spot in that race?
All right, firstly, I'm not gonna quite go as far as Jack with a Thaddeus Young pick, but I do. I said I won't.
No.
I debated with this, but I've made the compromise to just give him a little shout out here. Salute, Dort. You know,
Yeah, I'm not scared to ride for my guys.
is an honorable mention here.
I'll put my reputation on the line for Thaddeus Young.
You know, he locked down your favorite. Look, whoever, if you're listening to this, he's locked down your favorite player before.
No Zach Levine. No Zach Levine. No.
I don't know. Maybe you rewatched that fourth quarter on overtime.
Okay, cool. Anyway.
But yeah, you know, after he put Harden in prison for that first round, you know, he's held LeBron to 9-22, Middleton for 7 for 20, Jamal Murray 3 for 13, Dame.
You came ready with the stats.
DeRozan 1 for 8, Donovan Mitchell 5 for 14.
The thing is, yeah, you could be saying like completely fabricated stats right now.
Oh no, I've got
no one would check it.
I'll send it to you.
I'll send it to you.
I'll send it to you. But anyway, that's not even my thing. I couldn't do it. I've got to be a balanced journalist right here. So yeah, I've really battled with Gobert or Simmons, because I think if you are one of the two people that watched one of our earliest episodes, you'd know that because I play as well. I just have a love for perimeter defensive players, because I know interior defense definitely has a lot of impact, as you're seeing with Rudy Gobert. But the difficulty of it, and yeah, I've got Gobert. I've got Gobert at 2, which is a bit controversial of a pick, because obviously he is the leader, I believe, in defensive rating. But I just think there are moments where, obviously, from a game-to-game basis, his impact is clear. But when it comes to those one-on-one matchups, so he's a great deterrent. Like, I know firsthand from watching when the Thunder played him in that first round, you'd had Russ just not even attacking the rim at all because he didn't want to get swatted, and with Paul George as well, and that just changes the whole impact of the game. But in terms of the one-on-one matchups, you know, he's there to stop those bigger players who, you know, the bigs are making a resurgence right now, as you've got, you know, 2 MVP candidates in Jokic and Embiid, and Embiid and Zion gave him the business on back-to-back days. It was looking a bit ugly there, but obviously him being a top 2 candidate shows that his value is there, and you know, he's just he's a shoo-in for a top 3 year in and year out over the last few years, and that's what got him his, you know, one of the highest contracts of all time and the highest paid big of all time. You know, much to the dismay of Shaquille O'Neal. Still not. But yeah, he's my second.
Yeah, I also have Rudy Gobert in at second. I think a lot of what you said is true. The only thing that worries me is when he does come up against those elite of the elite big men, who have more to their game than just like inside, like post game. He does tend to get exposed a little bit. Like, we've talked a lot about Jokic being his father. As you said, Embiid was giving him work, because those two have like really well-rounded offensive games. So that's why I've given the nod to Ben Simmons. I feel like Ben Simmons is comfortable guarding 1 through 5 with his length and his size. He's very comfortable in that, and he'll as you said with Lou Dort, he will guard your team's best player, and most of the times he'll guard them extremely well. I remember that game. I think it was a week or 2 ago when the Sixers played the Mavericks. Simmons guarded Doncic for 7 minutes, and in that time, Doncic shot 3 of 7.
Federal prison, man.
0 of 3.
Threw away the key.
And he forced Doncic 4 turnovers, with Doncic getting just 1 assist. So I think that tells you everything you need to know. He guards people like Lillard, Doncic, as we said, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James. Simmons has been the primary defender on the opponent's top scorer 11 times for 9 different players. So that just tells you everything. Doc Rivers clearly knows how versatile of a defender he is, and whoever's hot that night, you can expect Ben Simmons to be on them. And it's such a weapon to have for the Sixers, and I think this is what is really transforming them into title contenders. Not just Embiid's terrific play, but the fact that Simmons is such a versatile defender, and he for his offensive shortcomings, he makes up for it tenfold on the defensive end.
Yeah, I agree with you for those same reasons. And that one word, versatility, really stands out, because he is elite in both aspects. And obviously his size, because as I was with Lou Dort, you know, he can put him on a lot of different matchups. But the fact that, he stands at 6'3", Ben Simmons is doing that at 6'10", 6'11". You can throw him at any matchup confidently. And obviously having Embiid there, that's what puts them over the top as a team as a whole. But yeah, for the people that criticize him, not enough improvements since his rookie year, I don't believe that, because he's looking like, he's the future really in terms of the defensive end, being that almost Draymond type, but with a better athletic build. He's just all over the court. I've seen games where they'll just completely rotate him through from being a roaming off-ball defender to clamping down on that guard to defending in the post. And he just doesn't have any weaknesses. Whereas with Gobert, once he's outside of 3 feet, he kind of looks a bit lost out there. Mm-hmm. So I do have to give that nod to Simmons personally.
Matas, you said you had Ben Simmons at 2, right?
Yep.
I'm guessing you had Gobert at 1.
Yeah, I had Gobert at 1.
All right, so obviously me and Josh have both got Simmons. Make the case for Gobert. Try and convince us as to why.
Well, as you, Jack, said earlier, when you put in Gobert, you can put Gobert on any team. He will make their defense much better, and his presence in the paint all the time. He's just, when you're playing against Jazz, it's usually that the players are scared to go drive to the rim because he's just big and long, and he easily gets shot all the shots. And his defensive rating should be high as well.
He's got the best in the league. He's got a 101.7. With he's got the lowest defensive rating, which is better, which is good. And that's by 3 points, which is quite a lot, to be fair.
His presence when Celtics played the Jazz, and when Gobert was off the floor, everything went through the paint for Celtics, and then Gobert came back in. Everything just.
To be fair, you have no center as well, so that doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. And there was one moment when I think it was Grant Williams wanted to do a floater. Time Lord is he will be up there one day. Grant Williams wanted to shoot floater.
I mean, this could factor in, but we are coming up to the year anniversary of Gobert shutting down the whole league, so maybe that factors in a bit. Discussion, but other than that, I don't know, man. Jazz slander over here. One award's enough. Two awards is enough for them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Let's hope they don't get that ring as well.
If we have to call the Utah Jazz the reigning champions, I'm sorry.
Yeah, man.
My goodness. But imagine them bringing out Carmelo into the parade and everything. No, that would be a shambles.
They got Macklemore performing at the parade. But I think with both those players, I think it's so tight between them. You can't go wrong either way, really. But for me, it's just the versatility. I think, as Josh said earlier, the outside of 3 feet and on the perimeter, Gobert can get a little bit lost. But those are all solid picks. Right, let's move in to the big one, the final award of the evening, the most valuable player, the MVP award. Matas, take us through who you have at number 2.
The floor is
yours. The mic is yours. Who's the number 2?
With number 2, there is few guys that they're playing.
Get to it, bro. Get to it.
Okay,
Stop trying to preface it. Stop trying to preface it.
But with with second place, I went just because of team standings where they at. So I went with one and only LeBron James. He's averaging I don't know.
Nah,
he's averaging 25, 8, and 8. So, and Lakers are third in the West right now, of course, behind Suns and Jazz. Yeah, and LeBron is LeBron, but I don't but I don't think he will win it. I don't know why some people putting him as the first, because he's not even close to be first. Second, maybe first, not even close. I was gonna say, if you
I'm getting confused.
If you asked
he's second.
If you asked us 2,
he
might have been first.
Yeah. I think. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I did see. Yeah, people that have Matt first. I don't know. I think second wasn't even too crazy a couple weeks ago. But
yeah,
I think
when
the
AD was
opportunity
out,
opened up for him when AD went out, especially. I thought, okay, this is going to be a stretch where LeBron just goes crazy and just shows.
I think LeBron just take it slow, because he's
which is
17,
expected.
18 season.
And forget that 77-day off season, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's quite a big trend of a lot of these players that we're saying, oh, why are these teams struggling? Why are these players struggling? Why is the Nuggets, the Heat? Well, look, they were all, deep into the playoffs and barely got any rest. So that's understandable. But obviously, I try to keep the narratives like that should not really be taken into consideration when we're talking about MVP. I think, the next LeBron's clearly going to win one eventually because, we're getting 18th year, 19th year, 17th year last year. But now I don't think that's an argument. And to be fair, I feel like he's slipping, not so much that his play is slipping, but obviously you have to do something spectacular here. And there are players below him that I would have above him. I'm not sure I'd have him in my top 3 to maybe even 5, just because of how players have come up. Because you've got players like Dame and Steph coming up as well, that are starting to play at a higher level than him with teams that have lower expectations. So yeah, there's not too much of an argument for him right now, I think, with how he's played in AD's absence. Because now you've got players like Dame and Harden sneaking in as well. So that
But with Harden, when KD is back, Harden will.
Oh, but we're just talking about first half of the season here. That's what I'm saying.
Still.
And so technically, Harden has played in the first half of the season on a team a lot of the time without KD or Kyrie.
Yeah.
He's kind of played with what's left of the Nets.
Yeah. Yeah, with LeBron is really a tricky one because for me, if you asked me this 2-3 weeks ago, he would have firmly been in my top 2, LeBron James. When Anthony Davis was healthy, he had a stretch, with the improved 3-point percentage, and when the Lakers were on their win streak, when they were the hottest team in the league, he would have firmly been in my top 2 MVP for sure. But now I think he did have that opportunity to really, grab, kind of almost just take the MVP trophy right there and say, okay, AD's out, my number 2 is out. Can I push on with this roster, keep them where they are, maybe even improve them, and really out my own production and make a real case for this MVP trophy? But he's kind of done the opposite. He's kind of almost took it as a period of rest, I would say. He's not been at 100%.
And honestly,
he's kind of used it as an excuse, I think, to kind of rest a little bit.
But yeah, to be honest, and that's the smartest way, because LeBron is not. He's not shooting for MVP. He's shooting for back-to-back championships. So this is nothing. We're not trying to take away from LeBron as a player or who he is. We're just talking about who deserves MVP for the 2020-21 season up to March. So obviously everything that he's doing right now is he's taking it easy, and he kind of, which is fair enough, because why should he push himself to a certain extent? It doesn't make sense for the Lakers as a whole. There was a lot of calls for. I mean, LeBron was being criticized for playing more minutes and things. They were saying, he's being selfish. He's trying to get his stats. Why is he not just resting for this, this Lakers run? But he's still the best player in the world. But he's just not having an MVP type season, just based on how other players around him are playing. But yeah, all of that to say, my second, well, really, with me, it's a 101. It's a 101A, but I do have to put Jokic slightly behind, which is crazy to say about a center averaging 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists on almost 60, 40, 90 splits, which is, that just doesn't make sense. But unfortunately, Jokic is just being let down by his supporting cast, who, have stepped up lately. Jamal Murray has started to step up a bit more. But, just their standing in the league, After the playoff performance that they had, they were expected to be that team that would be where the Suns are right now, and look to push forward, as the brightest young team. But that's not really Jokic's fault. But just because the player above him is playing just as well, but on a better team.
For me, Jokic was a very Jokic was a very convincing option, but I went a slightly different route. I love to throw a curveball or two, but I don't think this is even a curveball. I think this is actually.
Just don't say Zach LaVine. Just don't say Zach LaVine, or we're gonna end it now.
No, it's Kobe White. No, I'm joking.
I really actually just did that. You said it, and it didn't sound weird.
Yeah. No, for me, my number 2 in the MVP race is Damian Lillard. And I'll tell you why. If I told you guys, there was a team out there in the NBA, 4 of the 5 starters were Enes Kanter, Robert Covington, Damian Jones Jr., and Gary Trent Jr. Is that a playoff team, do you think? With a 65-year-old Carmelo Anthony as their 6th man. Is that a playoff team?
They've got... Well, when you give more context and say that they've got double monster Enes Kanter, Knicks and OKC legend Enes Kanter, then yeah. But
what, just off Enes Kanter? That's a playoff team. Okay.
That's a championship contender.
Okay. No, but
that's a microwave. You got a microwave Enes Kanter. Like, come on now. All right, but yeah. No, Dame is definitely.
Damian and Damian Lillard has those 4 starters, and Carmelo Anthony in at the 5th seed right now. 21 of 14 records so far. They obviously started the season healthy with Yusuf Nurkic and CJ McCollum, 2 really big pieces for that Portland Trailblazers, the 2 and 3 option on that team. CJ McCollum started the season on fire. He was probably, if he continued the way he was, player. Yeah, he was a shoot-in for the All-Star game, 100%. But they went down with 2 bad injuries. CJ McCollum's been out for about a month now, I think, and Yusuf Nurkic is on a similar timeline to him. But the play of the Trailblazers hasn't fallen off at all. And Damian Lillard, I think, almost single-handedly is keeping the short-handed Blazers in the playoff hunt, and in a hunt for a top 3 seed for sure. Like when those players come back, CJ McCollum and Yusuf Nurkic, they could really push on to those top 3 seeds. Let me just make some more points for his case. He leads the league in clutch points. We've always known Damian Lillard to be clutch, but I think it's even more impressive when you're short-handed, because it's almost like he's willing his team to these victories. He knows how important each game is for the Trailblazers and what they want to do this season. And he says, when it's the 4th quarter, you might as well call this Dame time, because I'm going to step up. I'm going to win you this game. Everyone else get out of the way. He's averaging 29.8 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. The splits on they don't jump out at you, but they're good enough. 44% from the field, 38%.
Yeah, with the lack of help there, it makes it harder for.
He's shooting probably every second shot on that team, pretty much. But I think the play of how dominant he is right now is making the players around him better, because a lot of the focus is on Damian Lillard, and that's why his assists are up to 8, because a lot of the focus he's the subject of a lot of double teams, a lot of defensive focus, and he can hit. He's got shooters like Gary Trent Jr. who can knock down shots.
Mm-hmm. Last night really did show though that, man, I do feel for him, because I worry that he's gonna be one of those forgotten players of this generation simply because of Steph Curry. Because he really would be Steph Curry if there was no Steph Curry. And it's so unfortunate for him to be. You can't detach them from each other, and there's always these comparisons. But just as a player, as a person witnessing him play, he's growing to become one of my favorite players.
For sure.
He was for a long. I was following him when he was getting drafted, but. He's just a tremendous player, cool, calm, collected. He's just made for those type of moments, and he's trying to really show, he's trying to will himself, will that franchise to a place of relevance.
Yeah, he really,
despite people calling for him to leave to greener pastures, but he's balling out his mind.
Yeah, it does really look like he wants to repay Portland for the faith they've shown him, and make them a contender. And they've kind of always been competitive since he's been there, which I think tells you a lot.
It's really just injuries that's held them back.
Yeah, for sure. It's actually a really talented roster as well around him when they're fully healthy. So it's no surprise they've been making noise for the past couple of years. And obviously Damian Lillard provided us with some of the most iconic moments in the NBA over the past 10 years. And yeah, I think your point to him being a forgotten superstar is really pertinent, because if you just look at the box score and look at his career through the lens of the box score, comparing his stats to some of the all-time greats, they're right up there. And then you factor in those iconic moments in the playoffs, that shot over Paul George, that shot against Houston in 2014, I think it was 2013.
Paul George just yesterday finally admitted that it was a great shot.
Yeah, to win, and that shot was to win the Trailblazers wasn't it their first playoff series in 15 years? I think that's what the call said. But I think he will definitely go down easily as the greatest Trailblazer of all time. And man, you don't think?
I don't know, man. Like players like
Clyde
well,
Drexler.
let's see what he does in the play. Because his playoff career has not been too great. I'm not gonna lie. Outside of those two moments that you just mentioned.
Yeah, but I think when people look back on it, that's all they're probably gonna remember. I would say, because Clyde Drexler, he didn't win a title with Portland, did he? No, I don't think so. Can anyone back that up, please? I don't think he did. But I think, yeah, for me, Damian Lillard will go down as the greatest Trailblazer ever anyway. And yeah, I think a lot with the MVP race, a lot of the time it's a bit uncertain if it means the actual most valuable player to a team or just the best player. And I think if we're talking about just value to a team, I think Damian Lillard is probably the MVP for me. But
or Christian Wood.
or Christian Wood. Or Fadi Song, actually. He's very important. But let's move into our number one MVP. And I'm pretty certain we've all got the same answer. It's Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Joel
Embiid
is playing out of his damn mind. This is the player we always thought he could be, but for whatever reason, injuries, poor coaches, whatever, always held him back. And it was always the question with Joel Embiid. He'd always start the season on fire, kind of like how he is now, but he'd always kind of tail off towards around this time, actually. But this season, he's got his foot firmly on that gas pedal.
Yeah, clear commitment to his body. He's clearly reflected on how he's kind of how he's crashed out of most of his end of the seasons because his body's let him down because he wasn't taking as much care of his body in terms of conditioning, in terms of dieting, things like that. And he's definitely made that leap because up to this point he's not had much injury concerns. Knock on wood. But he's blown out of his mind. And last season, he said pretty early on that his goals were championship, MVP, and defensive player of the year. And he was clowned for that because obviously he missed on all three pretty dramatically. But now he's looking like he's putting himself in a position to really be in those conversations. And the potential was always there. The only reason he was drafted third was because of, he was injured. He had an injured back even in the draft. So just as a talent, though, he was destined for this type of production, and he's really playing it under Doc Rivers. And credit to, if we were doing Executive of the Year, we definitely have, we'll definitely show a lot of love to the Sixers because what they've been able to do. And maybe it's more of an indictment on the front office before them because they just weren't able to identify that they needed shooting. But they've really put it together, and Embiid is looking dominant. He's had a couple of performances that were insane.
Yeah, and he's not just doing it on the offensive end either. He's doing it on defense as well. Like I think he said he's gone into this season with a different mindset in the fact that he's not taking a possession off, and that really shows. What's impressed you most about Joel Embiid, Matas, and his kind of evolution?
Well, this season he's just unguardable. Like I don't think there's a player that can stop him apart from himself. Like, if he's staying healthy throughout the season, as in like Josh said, like injuries is being his problem. Like, he's just unguardable this season. He's all these little things that gets him to the free throw line as well. Just annoying as opposition, but like he's just too good this season. Too good.
Yeah, he is so skilled. He's got that, Hakeem-esque skill set. that's insane. And he can take it out to 3 because, you know, a lot of his career, he's been seen as a big that can stretch it out to the 3-point line. But, you know, after his rookie season, he did have a couple of seasons there where he was a lot closer to 30% than 40% from 3. But now he's back up to that 40% range. And, you know, it's doing a lot for that squad. But yeah, just back to the defense, he, you know, just behind Rudy Gobert, he is sitting there at second in defensive rating. So, you know, he's balling at a tremendous level, obviously averaging 30 points. He's averaging 30 points and 12 rebounds on 50, 40, 85. So, yeah, he's balling.
Crazy. Those are crazy stats. And it's good to see the big man dominating the league again, man. With him and Jokic, they're really putting the big man back on the map.
And with both of them, if their squads, well, more particularly the Nuggets, but if the 76ers can continue as they are, just having Embiid and having that mismatch, when you look at those other contenders in the East, they have no answer for him.
No answer. No.
At all. Like, it can get ugly. So that would be very interesting to see if a player like him can completely throw off the Nets in terms of, you know, they have the talent, but when it gets to playoff time, if you have that one player that no one can stop, as we see with LeBron, you know, there's not much you can do schematically.
Yeah, well, that wraps up the 4 Quarter Talk award show. Let us know what you think of all those picks.
We'll put them up now.
Yeah, we'll put them up on the screen now. For people listening on Spotify, should we just go through them one more time?
We'll just go through our number ones.
Yeah, go through the number ones. So, Rookie of the Year, everyone had LaMelo. Coach of the Year, I think, who did you have, Josh?
I had Snyder.
Matas?
Quinn
Snyder.
And I had Tom Thibodeau for Most Improved Player. You had Josh.
Julius Randle.
Matas.
I had Grant.
And I also had Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant, sorry, not Jerry. His brother's trash. Yeah. He's probably flipping burgers somewhere.
His brother played in Lithuania as well.
Yeah, and he also played on the Bulls as well.
That family, though, apart from him, you know, that's buzz for royalty right there.
Yeah. Next award, what was next award? Sixth Man of the Year.
Everyone had Clarkson.
No, I had. Don't disrespect Thaddeus Young like that. I had Thaddeus.
Everyone deep down inside had Clarkson.
For content purposes, I had Jordan Clarkson number 2. Then we've got defense player of the year.
Yeah. Us two. We had Simmons.
Yeah, me and Josh had Simmons.
Gobert.
And then for MVP, everyone had Joel Embiid. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the podcast today. It's a long one, and I hope someone got all the way through it. They probably didn't, but I'll still be editing it regardless. Thank you, Matas, for joining us.
Thanks for joining.
It was a real pleasure to have you on. Feel free to come back anytime you want. Just shoot us a message when you feel like coming on. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we're out. Peace.